Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right.
What'd she say?
It's been a while since we last checked in on the circus that is The View. You might think maybe they've dialed things back, maybe mellowed out. Think again. They're still in full meltdown mode with their usual brand of hyperwoke theatrics. But this time, the routine didn't go unchecked. Enter Bill Maher and Karoline Leavitt, an unlikely duo who tag-teamed to shut the whole charade down. And trust me, it was fireworks. So what exactly were the hosts spewing this round? And how did Bill and Karoline deliver a combo of humor and hard truth that stopped them cold? Sit tight. This one's a ride.
Past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
So here's the setup. Bill Maher has been talking a lot lately about cooling down the hatred between left and right. You'd think that's reasonable. But the ladies at The View? They lost it. What triggered them? Word got out that Maher had dinner with none other than Donald Trump. That was it. Whoopi Goldberg absolutely unraveled, railing at Maher for daring to break bread with a man they've labeled public enemy number one. She even refused to say his name like it was Voldemort.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean...
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention one thing?
And let's be clear, Whoopi's blow-up was just the start. Things escalated into a full character assassination of Maher. To her, this wasn't a dinner. It was treason. He had betrayed the cause, sat at the table with the so-called devil, and in her world, that's the point of no return. No amount of explanation, context, or comedy was going to save him. Once you cross that invisible line, you're out. Period.
Nobody on the planet really wants to go through this. This is not something we're doing because it's, really gratifying. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody.
But if you know Bill Maher, you knew he wasn't going to sit quietly while The View screamed themselves hoarse. On his own show, he came back with a vengeance. His usual recipe of sharp sarcasm and pointed logic tore through their outrage like tissue paper. He made it clear he doesn't need their permission slips. He doesn't ask for them, and he's not about to start. It was pure Maher, brazen, biting, and completely unapologetic.
12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other.
Before he really laid into Whoopi, Maher spelled something out. This is still America, where democracy means we can disagree without hating each other's guts. Different views don't have to equal war. You don't need to lose your sanity every time someone thinks differently. It's called basic civil discourse, a term that seems completely lost on the women of The View. Maher wasn't just defending himself. He was defending the principle of free debate. But Whoopi took it personally, blasting him like he had just declared war on her.
If he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a
She even dragged Kamala Harris into it, unintentionally showing her double standard. If Maher had had that dinner with Harris instead of Trump, Whoopi would have rolled out a red carpet. She'd probably have hosted the after party herself. Any compliment Maher tossed Kamala's way would have had her applauding. But because the guest was Trump, suddenly the same act turned into betrayal. No consistency, no values, just pure partisan loyalty. And Whoopi exposed it for everyone to see.
About Whoopi Goldberg, because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So she was, everybody was like, "Oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma." First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid on a regular basis. It just happened to coincide.
And that's exactly why Maher stands out. He doesn't just talk about free speech. He practices it. When the outrage mob piles on, he doesn't grovel. Even after Whoopi blasted him on daytime TV, he didn't cave. He held the line. That kind of backbone is rare now. And it's why even some critics had to admit she crossed a line. While calls circulated for Whoopi to be held accountable, Maher didn't whine or play victim. He doubled down on principle and dropped a few savage lines on his way out.
Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
One of those lines? Comparing Whoopi to a hunter and himself to a lion. Yeah, he actually went there. In this media jungle, Whoopi stormed in like a hunter, aiming for the big kill. But instead of running, the lion roared back. His wit cut sharper than any bullet she thought she was firing. By the end, it wasn't the lion limping away. It was the hunter looking rattled. And just as Maher was cooling down, Karoline Leavitt was stepping up to bring even more fire.
We have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS.
And she didn't disappoint. Leavitt went straight for the bigger picture, the rot of modern-day wokeness. What started out years ago as a push for empathy has twisted into a toxic obsession with censorship, division, and identity politics. Media no longer inform, they spin. Universities don't teach, they indoctrinate. Politicians don't solve problems, they virtue signal. Even medicine has been politicized. It's not progress, it's decay. And Whoopi has become the face of that decay, clinging to woke dogma like it's a lifeline, weaponizing her celebrity to shame and silence. Instead of fostering dialogue, she fuels the cancel mob. Leavitt made sure America heard that loud and clear.
And the irony in all of this is that Joe Biden and the Democrats and these ladies on The View constantly say President Trump is the alleged threat to democracy, when in fact they themselves are wishfully thinking that President Trump will be imprisoned when he has not been convicted of any crimes. That is the real threat to democracy. Voters see that, and that's why President Trump continues his
She didn't just call them out, she dismantled them. The women of The View have spent years pumping out propaganda under the disguise of daytime chit-chat. They praised Joe Biden as if he were a genius, even as his decline became impossible to ignore. They propped up Kamala Harris as some democracy-saving visionary, despite her constant word salads and buzzword rants. It's not commentary. It's spin wrapped in laughter and studio lights. But Leavitt wasn't playing games. Calm, sharp, and relentless, she wrecked their narrative in real time. Whoopi tried to clap back, but Leavitt's rebuttal stole the show.
The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
She laid bare the contradiction of a woman who talks unity but explodes over a dinner guest list. Leavitt reminded everyone that leadership isn't about pandering to mobs. It's about standing firm. This wasn't just another viral exchange. It was a gut check for the country. Every point she made chipped away at the fragile shell of woke hysteria. By the end, Bill Maher and Karoline Leavitt had delivered a knockout tag team performance, exposing the View's outrage for what it really is, performance art. Whoopi's fury proved the irony of it all. Those who scream loudest about tolerance are often the least tolerant. Maher held his ground. Leavitt came in swinging. Together, they broke through the media noise. This wasn't just a news cycle moment. It was a cultural shift. More people are waking up. The old game of guilt and spin is crumbling. And that, my friends, is the turning tide. Thanks for tuning in. Hit like, share this around, and don't forget to subscribe for more unfiltered commentary. See you next time.